So thoughts can change your life. With me, Reverend Lee. It's good to be with you today. Do you realize that each and every one of us, each and every person in the world is a storyteller? And do you realize that whatever story you tell yourself and you believe is your life experience? So if the story you're telling yourself, if your life is not what you want, why not tell a different story? See, it doesn't matter what happened to you in your past. It doesn't matter what your future is going to be. It only matters what is the story that you're telling yourself about it. Because your mind believes whatever you repeat over and over and over again. So the question I want to ask is, why not create stories that make you feel good? The best example I can give about this is my own childhood. I had a brother who was a year and a half younger than me. We had the same parents, same basic upbringing. I listened to my mother yell just like he listened to my mother yell. I got hit with a wooden spoon. He got hit with a wooden spoon. My dad, when he got really mad, the belt came off. I had all of that in my life. The difference was I chose to write a story for myself that I had a happy childhood. And as I got older, I kept telling that story. And then I realized that mom and dad had done the best they could. They couldn't do any more than that. And so I was able to be at peace with them. And once I got married, my mom and dad and we had a great relationship as much as I could. With my mom, the relationship was absolutely wonderful. With my dad, it was the best I could with an alcoholic. It was the best I could with an alcoholic. But my brother told a different story, that his parents abused him, that they were this, they were this, they were this, they were this. And he went through life as a very, very, very angry person. That anger chose to weaken his immune system. That anger brought him cancer. And that anger brought him death. And he died a very unhappy person. Here's the interesting thing, though. He asked me to come when he was in the hospital right before he died, about a week and 2 days before. He asked me to fly out to Maui. That's where he was living. And get him home, get him into hospice, get his affairs in order. And my brother and I were not close, but I was the only family he had. My dad was in assisted living. My dad was an alcoholic. He couldn't help. So I went out there and I spent a week getting everything set up. And then he asked me the question. Why is it that you and I had such different lives? And I said, Ron, it's because I told a different story. He says, but Lee, it happened to you. You gotta hate him. I said, why? When you hate someone, all you're doing is putting poison in your system. I says, I chose to live my life because that's in the past. In the now, that doesn't exist unless I bring it forward. And he paused because my brother was a very, 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 very bright person academically. He had his PhD, very, very bright man, genius. You may say, well, you're a genius. I said, no, I'm not a genius. I'm just very intelligent. But being a genius doesn't mean anything if you're telling yourself the wrong stories. And if you're not a genius, you can still be telling the wrong stories. So I ask you to look at your life, especially at this holiday season. What stories are you telling yourself? Good question. What stories are you telling yourself about your mom, your dad, your childhood, your past lovers, maybe your past husbands and wives? What stories are you telling about your children? They're just stories. The thing that I've known is that when I raised my two boys, they're now grown men. They're 39 and 37. When I raised my two boys, they went through their challenges, and I had stories about that. And in order to change my relationship with my sons, I had to start telling a different story to myself. A different story about that they were not their past. This is now who they are. They're different. And once I could get that story deeply implanted, guess what started to happen? I started to have different experiences being with them. You see, the stories we tell become the filters through which our senses see life. Do you get that? The only thing we experience is what we experience through our senses. If we didn't have senses, we would experience nothing. Do you get that? Experience is all about senses. So, and if you know that, then you realize that the stories you're telling are really the filter through which the information of your senses comes into your mind, and it gets interpreted, and emotions are attached to it, and we have that experience. It's really simple to understand. It's not easy to do. Not easy to do at all, but it's the good work. It's the absolutely, the best work you can do. So what are you excited about this Christmas? I'm telling a new story. I'm going to share it with you. My story is that there is a healing power within me. There is a healing power within everyone. And that was awakened. I've known this since I was a child, but it was really awakened to me the beginning of October when I got to visualize, when I got to see it at a Dr. Joe Dispenza event. 1,800 people gathered to heal. It was incredible. And I said, if he can do it, I can do it. And if I can do it, you can do it. No one on the planet is better or more special than anyone else. What story are you telling? So I want you to know, some of you know that were in meditation with me earlier today. I woke up 3 times last night, excited as heck, because here's the thing. Today, my 4.5-year-old granddaughter comes, who is the light of my life. That didn't wake me up. The Christmas Eve healing that we're going to do at 10 a.m. Central Time, I was up dreaming about it. I was so excited about the opportunity of kicking off this new thing. So, if you want to be a part of that, you're welcome to join. You'll see it on my Facebook page. You'll see the link on all 3 of my Facebook pages, Lee Wolak, Rev Lee Wolak, and Agape Spiritual Center. Or you go to agapespiritualcenter.com and go to the calendar. Pop that Zoom link. Pop that Zoom link. We have the Healies already chosen. And you can be a healer, and I'll guide you through it. Wendy, you've already got an email. You don't have to tell me you sent one. I answered that immediately, Wendy. You should know that. You should be telling the story. Reverend Lee always answers his emails right away. Why? Because Reverend Lee's been telling himself the story that he's type A. And in some ways, I am. And I embrace it. But I'm also the other side. This is something I told myself the story for a long time that I'm an extrovert. I've now told myself the story I'm an ambivert, meaning I'm balanced, half extrovert, half introvert. I love my time alone. I love my time with you. I love social interaction. I love being in the quiet, in the stillness, in the allness, in the nothingness. That is everything. I can't ask for a greater gift than to join me Christmas Eve, 10 a.m., and let's heal. I'm going to be doing this every Saturday at 10 a.m. So if you want to be a healee, send Rev Lee Wolak at Gmail, an email, and send me a picture. I've already got it booked through January 16th. So I just keep adding. Each week I'll keep adding 3 more people, because right now I'm doing 3 people at a time. And you're going to love it. Here's what I'm going to say. Awaken yourself to the gift that you can heal. Tell yourself the story that I am going to be a healer, And guess what? Someday it's going to prove to be a big benefit for you. You'll be able to heal yourself. You'll be able to heal others in your life. Why not step into your greatness? It's all about the stories we tell. Know that you are loved. You are perfect, whole, complete, and powerful, just like you are. And if no one tells you today, I will. I love you because I accept you, just like you are. Make it a great day, everyone. Aloha.